The number 4 Morenci Wildcats hosted the number 5 Phoenix Christian Cougars in the second round of the 2A state playoffs on Friday, and it was a battle to the end. Morenci let Phoenix Christian know they meant business right from the opening kickoff as Tito Casillas levels Howard Russell with a textbook tackle. The Wildcats forced the Cougars into a 3-and-out on their first possession and took over in good field position after the punt. On the Wildcats' second play from scrimmage, Isaac Pacheco burst through the middle and ran 28 yards to the Cougars' 35-yard line. Pacheco then followed that up with a 10-yard run to the 25, and the Wildcats were knocking on the door of the red zone. Then it was quarterback Brandon Blair's turn as he went around the right side and was dragging Cougars downfield with him. Just before Blair goes down, however, Ramon Castro is able to pry the ball loose and the Cougars come up with the fumble at the 11. The Cougars were making their way down the field when Mark Encinas' pass just went off the hands of Malik Taylor, and Angel Adien tipped it to himself and snatched it by pinning the ball with one hand to his shoulder pads to come up with the big interception. On 3rd and 8, Casillas took the quick screen from Blair and raced 21 yards to the Cougars' 24-yard line to bring the Wildcats back to the edge of the red zone. Now facing 4th and 12 from the 26, Blair hits Casillas again on the screen, and he manages to fight through 3 Cougars and somehow stay in bounds as he battles for every inch down the sideline. But it looks like they're going to have to measure for the first down. Nope! A face mask call erased any doubt and gave the Wildcats a first down and goal at the 6-yard line. On 4th and goal from the 3, Blair sneaks through the line and runs through 3 Cougars as he stretches the ball out just to break the play to the goal line to open up the scoring on the night. The extra point was good and Morenci drew first blood 7-0. The Cougars looked to strike back, and on 3rd and 2, Encinas found Mason Reinard on a well-executed screen pass, and he could go almost all the way, but Carlos Bray saves the TD with a diving tackle. On 3rd and 8, Taylor just escapes the grasp of Matt Garcia and picks up 9 around the right side to extend the drive. Phoenix Christian then imploded with 3 procedure penalties, followed by a mishandled snap by Encinas that resulted in a turnover as Chris Roybal stuck his head in there and came out with the ball. 2 plays later, Pacheco takes the pitch from Blair and zips 35 yards down to the 24-yard line as the Wildcats roar back into Cougar territory. On 4th down from the 16, Blair rolls out to his right and lets it fly just before getting munched, and Chris Roybal snatches it down the sideline for a 1st and goal from the 9. Pacheco says, "I'll take it from here, boys," and stretches out for the 9-yard TD to put Morenci up 14-0 late in the second quarter. The Cougars came right back, however, and on the first play after the kickoff, Taylor follows an absolute pancake block by Jacob Sharp and tiptoes his way all the way down the sideline 60 yards to pay dirt to put the Cougars on the board. After 2 surprisingly big runs by fullback Matt Harrington moved the ball back into Cougar territory, Morenci attempted a 44-yard field goal with time running out in the half, but it was short and wide right, and the Wildcats went into halftime up 14-7. Johnson Motors is proud to sponsor our local high school athletes. If you're in the game for a new ride, trust Johnson Motors for a great deal on a quality new or used vehicle. Shop our virtual showroom and then stop on by for a test drive. That's Johnson Motors in Safford. After Phoenix Christian forced Morenci to a 3-and-out, the Cougars got it going as Encinas faked the handoff to Taylor, only to come back with him on the screen pass, and Taylor did the rest, going 18 yards for the first down. But on 4th and 8 from the Wildcats' 35 with 5:19 left in the third quarter, Encinas mishandles the snap and can't complete the pass, turning the ball over on downs. Morenci's driving now, and Blair hits Casillas in the flat, but Castro jars the ball loose and falls on it for the fumble recovery to give the ball back to Phoenix Christian at Morenci's 45-yard line. On the very next play, Man Freeman takes the handoff and whoop, makes one miss, and whoop, makes another miss around the left side, 32 yards all the way to the 12-yard line. On 4th and 11 from the 13, it looks like Reinard is going to do a halfback pass, but nobody's home, and Phoenix Christian turns the ball over on downs. On the very next play, however, Blair mishandles the snap, and Joseph Kellogg recovers the fumble for Phoenix Christian to give the Cougars the ball right back on the 10-yard line with a fresh set of downs. 2 plays later, Taylor took it in from the 3 and tied the game up at 14 apiece. On the 3rd play of Morenci's ensuing drive, Blair and Casillas mishandle the handoff, and Castro recovers for Phoenix Christian, giving the Cougars excellent field position at the Wildcats' 37. Freeman then beat the Wildcats to the edge to set up the Cougars with 1st and goal, and 2 plays later, Taylor finished the drive with a 2-yard TD plunge to give Phoenix Christian its first lead of the night at 20-14. On 4th and 4 from its own 42 with just 4 minutes left to play, Blair pitches to Pacheco, who only gets 3.5 yards and turns the ball back over to Phoenix Christian. A big run from Taylor gave the Cougars 1st and goal, and a couple of penalties against the Wildcats soon placed it on the 1-yard line. Taylor then ran it in from there to put the Cougars up for good, 27-14. Things got a little chippy in the end, and Morenci was called for multiple unsportsmanlike penalties, but not all were warranted, such as this legal block by Pacheco prior to the whistle being blown. The game and Morenci's season was over, however, and the teams neglected to shake hands after the match and instead went their separate ways.
You know, they're a really good football team, and we knew coming in here it was going to be a tough game. Their running game was really good the first half, and we made a couple adjustments at halftime and slowed them down a little bit, and then we got our running game going. So, you know, we had a couple things in the first half that we saw, that we knew were right there, just didn't quite hit, and then second half we started hitting them. So, yeah, we overcame a 14-point deficit, and I'm really proud of our guys.
How did the turnovers factor into helping?
Turnovers were huge. Turnovers were huge. We turned it over in the first half. They turned it over the second half. So I don't know how many the total was per team, but I know in the first half we had 3. And I think we might have got 3 in the second half. So each team, you know, benefited from it, but second half for sure it helped us.
Semifinals, you're going up against the juggernaut, Thatcher. Any words for?
Yeah, we played them in the semifinals last year. They're the best team in 2A by far. I've said this and I'll say it again. I think they could win 3A. They're a really, really good football team, and you know, obviously we have our work cut out for us.
You can't turn over. I don't even remember us turning over the ball as much as we did in that second half, and that made all the difference in the world. You can't give the ball up and expect to win the football game, especially in the playoffs. You know. I mean, right here at the 10, the first snap, we didn't even get the ball to the quarterback. You know, you can't do those things and expect to win. Like I said, I don't even remember when it's been since we turned over the ball as much as we did. You know, we started putting a drive together, we get to their 50, we turn the ball over again. You know, it's just, you know, it just didn't bounce our way. And, you know, and it happens. They made a good adjustment. They actually moved their one of their tackles over to the other side, and they powered to that one side. And I mean, but when you're giving up a short field, you know, bad things are going to happen. We did a really good job. We stopped them the first time around, but then the first play from our scrimmage, then we dropped the ball, you know. So you can't expect to win when you turn over the ball, you know. So.
Any thoughts to your team on the season that you guys had?
You know, I'm super proud of our seniors. When I first came on the staff, these guys were freshmen. I wasn't the head coach then, but, you know, so I got to know every single one of these guys, and I love them all on a personal level. You know, 14 seniors that came out, you know, year after year. And like I said, this was the first group of kids when I got here that I worked with. And so to see them come full circle and turn into fine men, you know, it makes me proud. It hurts for me because I know they deserved better. You know, we should have had another shot at Thatcher next week, and it just didn't fall the way it should have, you know. But, you know, we'll graduate these seniors with pride and get back to work, you know. That's all I do.
Reporting from Morenci for the Gila Herald, I'm John Johnson.